Hello and welcome to the Illinois Association of Park Districts Parkcast. I'm Wayne Utterback, Director of Communications and Digital Content, and today I'm being joined by Jennifer Winberg, Manager of the Lockwood Park at the Rockford Park District, to talk a little bit about a very unique and incredible opportunity that the Park District there has to help its community. So thank you so much for joining me today, Jennifer.
Thank you for having me.
Now, Jennifer, I always like to start these chats by just giving our viewers and listeners an idea of what do you do over there at Lockwood Park?
At Lockwood Park, we currently have our Trailside Center where we have lessons for youth and adults at our equine center, or at our Trailside Center, and then we have camps that run year round, family events, and then we have an ag education program in addition to that. And as we speak, we're building a 35,000 square foot facility to have equine assisted learning and equine assisted psychotherapy services for our public.
Now, I imagine right now is probably a pretty busy time for you guys, wouldn't it be?
It's absolutely busy. So we just finished up with our camp season. Now we're rolling into our fall events, and at the same time developing this new center and all of the programming and hiring of staff that will go into manning that facility to provide services.
All right, now I wanted to talk a little bit about the Lockwood Equine Center because it really has the potential to be this incredible addition to the Rockford Park District. Can you give me an overview about what this center will be, what its purpose will be?
Sure. So it's a huge opportunity for our community, for the Park District, but really for the youth in our community who are struggling. So this center is specialized and geared towards youth who are struggling with social, emotional issues, trauma, mental health, substance abuse. The list goes on. And so it's a specialized service where we do equine assisted learning and equine assisted psychotherapy in collaboration with other agencies throughout the Rockford area. The difference with this is that it's not a riding facility. So youth will come in groups or individually who are in need of some type of service. And so I got to stop there. Sorry. Can you ask that question again?
Sure. All right. No problem at all. I wanted to talk with you first a little bit about the Lockwood Equine Center. I think it really has the potential to be an incredible addition to the Rockford Park District. So I was hoping that you might just be able to give me an overview of what this center will be and what you hope to accomplish with it.
So it's a great opportunity for the Rockford Park District, but mostly for our community and youth who are struggling. When it started out as a project where we just really were looking for an indoor riding center. And then it changed into this opportunity to serve youth in a different way. We brought community partners in and different agencies, and we asked, what is it that our community needs? And the overwhelming response was, we need services for our youth who are in crisis. So of course we have social service agencies and we have centers where youth get help, but this is an added addition to that where they really get to the point of bringing hope to those who are having difficulty finding hope. And so when we talked with potential donors for this project, it came up for some of the work that I had been doing prior to coming to the Park District and seeing the transformational work that can be done with equine assisted learning. And it's not a riding facility, so it's ground-based. And so horses are at liberty working with youth and families together, and they're given the potential to interact with these animals in a way where they can kind of see what's going on with themselves and make changes from the changes that they see when they're in that arena. So it's really, there's so much to it, but it's just, it's beyond what I could have ever asked for to be a part of.
Now, where are you at with the project right now? What are some, target dates or target maybe funding levels that you're looking at? Where are you at with it?
So right now, well, we're in the middle of our build. So it's a $7.2 million facility because, and I'll explain a little bit about that, because it does have the indoor arena, but it also has classrooms for youth groups that come. It has counseling rooms, our staff areas. And then it's expanded in a way where youth who come and get services are able to continue working with the horses, like in their stall areas and whatnot. So it kind of continues the relationship. So the facility is quite big. That's why it costs so much. It's also, we put a lot of thought into making it trauma informed and sensory informed so that, it's heat regulated, temperature controlled, sound controlled. And so where we're at is we have $5.4 million. So we still have to get to that $7.2 million mark. But right now we're still fundraising, and it's in the process of being built because we just decided to move forward with it because it was just, we have so much support for the community. And then also as far as expressing the need for it. So the building is supposed to be done March of 2024. So we are working hard to bridge that gap with the funding.
And that date sounds like a perfect date to really get this thing up and running, because I imagine you're getting close to the end of the school season. We are like in May. So yeah. The kids are probably looking for one of those outlets, and I imagine that this will be a fantastic one for them. So yeah, it will. The beauty in this project and why it's an indoor center is because regardless if they're in school, it's a year-round facility, and these services, so we're going to be open 6 days a week, about 8 o'clock in the morning to 8 at night. So those who need services after school, that will be there. But then we also have potential to work with schools and have maybe a part of their day, whether it's an hour, hour and a half, be here at the facility working on social emotional engagement, because we found that the type of services that we're providing are really at the center of helping you get re-engaged in a process. So it's really addressing traumas and issues that people are struggling with in crisis so that they can focus on the things that they need to focus on. Now, talking about the equine assisted learning, what is it about that you feel really helps be a tool for helping those children in crisis, for helping the youth in crisis? What is it specifically about this program that you feel like will help boost the quality of life of somebody who might be in crisis?
Right. So we call it harnessing the power of the horse for self-discovery, healing, and growth. And in my experience, I've been around horses since I was a little girl, but in my experience, it was being in the presence of them where you really start to learn about yourself, because horses, unlike any other animal, they respond in a way to you that is very honest. It's congruent. Their messages are always congruent. They have exceptional boundaries. And so when I've worked with youth already doing this, it gives it, let me go back. So like a dog, you say a dog is very therapeutic. So what's the difference between a dog and a horse? So a dog will let you lie to them, quote unquote, lie to them. So you may be able to put a ton of pressure on them and they will continue to respond with love and care and whatnot most of the time. With a horse, they're going to respond to you exactly where you're at. So they're going to meet you where you're at. If you're angry, they may not approach you in a way that maybe a dog would just let you do that. So in that process, youth will start to learn when they're working with them that when the inside changes a little bit, then they start getting a different response. They get a different response from the horse. So they're able to look back and reflect and say, okay, when I'm acting this way, or my attitude is this way, or my behavior is this way, it's causing these horses not to, do a certain thing. Whereas when things start to change and the story starts to change, they get a connection that is very different than anything else that they've experienced. And so for my personal story, I struggled with post-traumatic stress when I was a youth. I was between about 16 and 21. I was in a violent relationship, and I was in a really dark place. There was nothing really that I could find to help me on my way out, to get out of that. And although I had been around horses riding, that wasn't something that was helping me get out of the darkness that I was in. I was very hopeless. And it was a day I'll never forget where a horse just approached me and sat with me. And in that moment, I could just felt like he saw me for who I was. And so it really gave me an opportunity to start learning about myself by working with this horse outside of the saddle. And then years and years from that, I started working with other individuals in the same way and seeing youth that were coming who were very, very hopeless. And when they had the opportunity to be in the presence of horses, they started to, you would see the light in their eyes change. And they would continue to come because the services are not just like, they don't come just one time. They may have an 8-week process or a 16-week process. And you would see the growth each time. And the thing that's so amazing about it is we have, it's a team. So we have we have a mental health professional in the arena. We have an equine specialist in the arena, and then the horses are our partners. And as professionals, we're just there to create an environment where these youth can be with horses in an emotionally safe, but physically safe space. Though we don't try to come up with the solutions that they need. They come up with their own solutions. And that's what makes the process so transformational, is because we may have an activity where they have a goal. So like we say, we call life's little obstacles, and they're trying to work with these horses to accomplish a goal. We're not telling them what that needs to look like. We're not telling them what they need to do to make this work. If we're doing psychotherapy, we're not telling them what the answers are for them. They work with horses in facilitated experiential learning activities where they figure out what works for them. And so it's it's not a situation where they're feeling like someone's trying to fix them. They're not trying to use the answers that they expect adults to have for them. They figure out what works for them. They learn that maybe a success, quote unquote success, what really is it, that they find their own successes and they learn to celebrate those and figure out what works for them in their lives. And it transfers from the arena into their lives in such a way that's really, it's amazing to watch.
Now, how does that feel, being able to kind of see other people have that same experience that you had, when you were in your darkest moments? How does it feel to see someone be able to have that same kind of experience of coming out of it and being able to find some solace and some direction with these experiences?
It's really what drives me every day. People ask me, what's your purpose in this? And there's a lot of things that I'd love to see happen. I mean, this project in itself and this building is such a huge thing. It's something that I've worked for with my family. I used to work with Hope Brains Ranch, which was a ministry, and we did this type of work. But to see it become and grow into this opportunity to reach so many more youth and those who are struggling. And I actually yesterday thinking, what do I want to see? What do I want to see out of this? And I think if we can bring light and hope to anybody, that's really what drives me, because our youth are in such crisis that, we have recreational services, but I watch and they have a very difficult time, especially after COVID. You just have seen the difference in how our youth play. And so if they can't be okay or have hope, it's very hard for them to play and very hard for them to enjoy life. So really, it's an amazing thing to be able to have this opportunity to offer a service where youth can begin to heal and be able to play again. And so if I can, if I can be part of a situation where one person is, finding the light and doesn't feel like they have no other option, then I feel like I've done my job here at the Park District. So we have so many youth. You see the news of all these youth who are committing suicide and whatnot, and recreation is great. That's what we want. We want the end goal to have people be able to participate in things, but watching the news and watching the reality of what's really happening with our youth, we knew we had to offer something else in addition, and being able to see the shift from dark to light is really, it's an amazing thing.
Absolutely. Now, You'd mentioned, partnerships, working with other people. Are there any partners you're leveraging right now that you feel like you're using to make this program, the center, as impactful as possible?
Yes, so we're collaborating with Rose Grants, and they are the main provider for substance abuse treatment and mental health treatment for youth and adults in our community. KP Counseling with Kevin Polkey and his group, they've come on board, and we're collaborating with them to offer services and have mental health professionals in their arena with us who have experience doing equine assisted learning. Places like Youth Services Network, the organizations go on and on. So bringing in the Rockford School District so that, every youth has the opportunity to really have access to these services. It can be adjusted to any group and to any individual. So, if we're doing re-engagement in the education process, you use the same tools in the arena. Or if it's, sexual abuse, or if it's some other type of trauma or mental health issue, use the same type of facilitation, but the goals, of what the individual is or whatever the agency is, that's how it's driven. And the horses and the people in the arena drive where it goes.
All right, now I have one more question for you. As you continue to move forward with the center, with this project, what would you like people to know about the future of the Lockwood Indoor Equine Center?
The future of the indoor, I think it's that it provides an opportunity in our community and beyond. And I say beyond because it will be a place that other park districts or other organizations can look at and say, you know what, this is top of the line. They're doing this with best practice. And what could we do to maybe mimic or to repeat that in our community so that we can continue this movement to offer another opportunity of hope and healing so that kids can play again.
Excellent, excellent. Well, Jennifer, thank you so much for just taking some time out of your day to talk with me a little bit about this incredible program you're putting together over there in Rockford. And I look forward to hearing more as we get closer to that March date about what you're doing. So thank you so much, Jennifer.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.